A judge drops about 20 charges after a local marijuana advocate pleaded guilty in court. Last year, Lori Duckworth was one of 4 arrested in a drug raid on multiple marijuana facilities. Good evening, I'm Trish Close. Thanks for joining us. Dave has the night off. It was a 2-year investigation that led to a drug bust, putting 4 people behind bars. Tonight, News 10's Caitlin Conrad spoke with Lori Duckworth moments after she pleaded guilty to a felony charge. That's tonight's top story at 6.
Attorneys at the Duckworth hearing say the plea deal is historic. A 2-year investigation followed by a year in and out of court came to an end when both Lori and Lee Duckworth pleaded guilty to just 1 felony charge each and found themselves with very little in the way of a sentence.
The sentence was, I feel, an empty conviction.
In fact, the 2 are getting just 11 months unsupervised probation with the ability to use medical marijuana and all of their confiscated possessions, including firearms, returned. However, this won't take away the difficulties of the last year.
Very quiet and isolated. We've isolated ourselves and preparing. We've been preparing for today.
Last May, when the couple's cannabis facility SONORML was raided along with several other medical marijuana locations, police told the public they, along with others, were illegally selling and trafficking weed. However, in court, the 2 admitted only to delivery of more than 1 ounce of marijuana, not selling it, something Lori's attorney worked out with the state.
So we went to the district attorney and presented her lack of criminal history, the fact that there wasn't a lot of money being interchanged, the fact that there was a lot of charity going on, and we asked for a misdemeanor conviction up front. And that was ultimately taken to Tim George, who said no.
Attorney Justin Rosa says the 2 have been labeled as felons, but they can have it dropped in as soon as 3 years, which would make it legal for them to open a dispensary if they choose. The Medford area attorney says he believes what happened in the Jackson County courtroom will change the way the county handles medical marijuana law.
Beth Heckert, the elected district attorney of Jackson County, told Tim George, the chief of police of the Medford Police Department, that she would no longer prosecute dispensary cases in Jackson County.
The deputy district attorney who handled the case, Paul Mosier, says each case will have to be looked at individually and adds dispensary law gets more complicated with every local ruling passed. As for Lori Duckworth's future, she says the door is always open for cannabis activism and hopes police spend more time targeting violent criminals.
The resources that were spent on May 23rd, going through our center, the dollars, the manpower, when all they had to do was come and ask me what I was doing, I would have walked them through my center.
Covering your news in Medford, Caitlin Conrad, News 10.
Firearms being returned to the Duckworths will be transferred to the hands of one of their children. Police Chief Tim George was not available today for comment. Here's a timeline of Duckworth's case. Local, state, and federal agencies raided SONORML and 3 other dispensaries in May last year. Duckworth, her husband, and 2 others were arrested. Days after the arrest, pot advocates rallied for the release of the SONORML leader. Duckworths paid their bails lowered by a judge from $500,000 to $10,000. A week later, SONORML ran by Duckworth closed down. Then in October, Duckworth pleaded not guilty to 28 drug charges.